Hi, I am Jazzie Carrington, and this is my show, What's Hot with Jazzie. I'm introducing you to the hottest, most innovative people around the nation, from pop culture entertainment to people making a difference in your community and mine, and everything in between. So let's get started with What's Hot with Jazzie. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to What's Hot with Jazzie, and I'm here with the extraordinary, best-selling poet and author Michelle Stephens. She has already graced us with her book, The Divorce Chronicles, and her funny, comedic, fabulous book, Single Mama Dating Drama. And we've also heard from her Straight from a Diva's Heart, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And today, we're going to be discussing her fabulous Straight from a Diva's Heart, Volume 3 that will be gracing us January 29th, 2019. So you don't want to miss this. So please sit back, relax, because you're watching What's Hot with Jazzie. Hi everyone, we're back with What's Hot with Jazzie. I'm your host, Jazzie Carrington, and I am here with the incomparable, fabulous, best-selling author, Michelle Stephens. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Jazzie. Good to see you.
You know, I am so excited about this interview. I was so looking forward to this because you are just such a great poet and author. You are so phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
And I have actually seen you perform, and I mean, you just took my breath away.
Oh, thanks so much.
And I know we're going to be talking about a few things because this lady has a lot going on. So first, I want to start with the fact that you are going to be coming out with a new book of poetry in January, but we're going to get to that. But I do want to talk about how you started out. It's just a wonderful story, and you even talk about battling with your health, and I want to ask you a little bit about that because I know you said, I tried to work being the regular workforce and task force, but you're so talented, I think you probably weren't meant to be there anyway.
Thank you.
But tell me a little bit about that, with battling with your health, and then just how you overcame that to start writing your poetry, and not only writing your poetry, but then you became an author. Yeah.
Well, so with the chronic illness, it was not diagnosed for many years. When I was in college, I was going to the doctor, and they're like dismissing it, like, you're too young, wait till you really get old kind of thing, and just saying, just, take a little Pepto-Bismol, that kind of thing.
Gosh.
And I'm actually in need of a specialist, is what I found out many years later. So I went like 13 years having to deal with,
not
my
really
stomach.
knowing what was going on with you.
Right.
And this is stomach problems.
Right, bleeding, ulcerative colitis.
Oh, wow.
And, it affected my jobs. I'm having to run out of the, my desk, and, especially when I was working at a call center, that was kind of like, messing up your stats. And, back then they didn't have all this HIPAA. It was just beginning
More
where
technology.
they can accommodate you and that type of thing. So I had to find another job. I went back into social work, which is what my mom did. And fortunately, I had a supervisor who had the same illness. And
wow,
that was a blessing, because she was
how ironic.
You don't even have to come in. You can just go straight to your clients.
Well, Michelle, I wanted to ask you, I know you kept a journal when you were dealing with, your stepdad being an alcoholic and being a child of divorce and going through this with your illness and going through the turmoil of that. But even through that whole time, you still continued to write. You continued to keep a journal, and then it turned into a healing.
Right.
Not only for you, but for others. I want to talk about first. This is Michelle's best-selling book, The Divorce Chronicles. This is a phenomenal read, guys. I want to talk about, how did you come up with this idea? I know because of what you went through, but what made you decide,
I want to, write about this. I want to talk to women and even men who are going through this, who are dealing with divorce and the challenges and things that can happen for kids and even adults as a product of divorce. You really dug deep.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I had friends that were going through divorce, and they just were like, how did you make it through? Because it was devastating, and it upends your whole life and your whole family. So, they were just like, and I didn't have kids at the time, so it was a little bit easier for me than them. I didn't have to deal with that custody issue. And I did have stepchildren, and that was a little hard.
Okay.
But, I had friends that would keep me up to date on them, so, I had a little bit of contact that way. But I just wanted to help them understand that my journey was one of faith and perseverance with just, asking God to help me through it. And there were absolutely times when, I got divorced twice. So, and I dealt with the same thing, alcoholism. So that spirit of alcoholism and divorce was following me from my mom's situation. And my mom always talks about how it wasn't even something that, it just was like, she was kind of just bored. My dad was working. There was nothing wrong with the relationship. They stayed friends until he passed away.
Wow.
So
do you think that, I think that's neat, interesting what you said, it followed you. And do you think maybe because you were so young when your parents got divorced and your mother got into this relationship, that sort of gave you a guideline to how men behave?
I think about that a lot, and I absolutely hear that a lot, that maybe you're trying to fix that person through another person. And now her ex-boyfriend was somebody that we loved. I mean, he was always nice to us.
Right.
But they had a tumultuous relationship, and we had to sit there and listen. And my poem that's in the front of my debut novel, Divorce That Chronicles, is about that. It's called Thinking and Drinking. About when he would be out and would come back and you would hear all this noise and tumbling around, and she's like, stay in your room. And my sister and I are behind the door, like with our little T-ball bat, crouched down.
This is really, really powerful because you have endured a lot. And it's so funny. Then you go from the Divorce Chronicles, and then you go to, oh God, gets better. Single mama dating drama. I love it. I love it. Single mama dating drama. I absolutely love this because it's so many single mothers out there. And dating can be very challenging when you are a single mom. And I love it because it's almost like a romantic comedy type.
Right.
And it's really funny. It's so clever and so cunning, and I love this. It seems like you really had a lot of fun with this. So tell me, when you talk about the divorce and all the things you went through and you got through that side, what made you come to this point here?
Well, actually, Rashonda Tate Billingsley, who is one of the publishers of this book,
Yes.
was one of my inspirations for wanting to get into fiction. And this was an anthology called, and I was like, I know all about single mama dating drama just from growing up in it, watching my mom having to go through different stuff, and with my friends. So even though I wasn't exactly a single mother, I did have a child by the time I wrote this book, and her dad and I are still together. But it's like, I'm seeing my friends go through this stuff, and I was just like, okay, I can write this story. And I was chosen for it out of hundreds of submissions, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this.
And you know what? And what's so neat is coming from the Divorce Chronicles, even divorced women who now find themselves as single mothers, and now they're trying to get back out there in the dating scene, with small children, or you have teenagers. It's very tough because the children have gotten used their father, and now they have to embrace someone else coming in. So it's a lot that goes on. And you talk about your friends going through things. What advice I know especially from writing the Divorce Chronicles, now we're going, stepping out of divorce, going into being a single mother. So let me ask you though, I did want to know this from you. You talk about your friends and just coming to you for advice at that time. And what is some advice that you feel and kind of as a, kind of similar to what you were writing in your book, that was one thing that you can say that was a good healing process for women who were dealing with divorce or coming out of bad relationships and being very heartbroken and trying to heal and trying to move forward, especially having children?
Well, I was actually a godmother to most of my friends' children, and I didn't want to see them having to deal with that pain of their mother being despondent. So I would tell them, you have to be present for your children and you have to move on with your life and, just keep your faith intact and keep God first, and He's going to work it out for you. So that was my main thing, is faith and perseverance will get you through.
I love that. Faith and perseverance. Now, which brings me to last but not least, this is my favorite, Straight from a Diva's Heart. So you have written volume 1, volume 2, and now we can look forward to volume 3 coming out January 30th.
The 29th.
The 29th, January 29th. Okay, remember that, January 29th, Straight from a Diva's Heart. This book of poetry, is phenomenal. So awesome, so awesome. I really want to talk about this.
Okay.
Please explain to me, Straight from a Diva's Heart. How did you come up with this? And explain to me a little bit of what you're conveying or trying to convey in your poetry in this book.
Okay. Well, Straight from a Diva's Heart, that's my catchphrase, and it actually came from trying to explain to my friends that, you might feel broken, but you're still that same diva that you were, before him.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So,
yes.
These words are just straight from my heart, and it's based on scripture. All my poems came to me like when I was fasting and praying through my own mess. So basically, I'm just telling them this is to comfort the brokenhearted, and you will get better.
So let me ask you, because you talk about comforting the brokenhearted, but now that you're doing volume 3, do you think this would be a little bit more focused on where to go from here after you've gone through the healing process?
Absolutely. I did try to break my poetry up into, going from the broken diva, and it's like a fairy tale feel, to a diva's heart, which is the first poem in volume 1, and then that one kind of ends with excuse me, her being, saying, okay, next year will be better. And then volume 2 kind of moves into, her coming back out and saying, okay, like, I know who I am and whose I am, and I'm getting ready to move forward.
Well, I wanted to ask you, and I'm putting her on the spot, you guys, because she's so phenomenal. Can we just get a little small taste of what we're going to hear in volume 3?
Okay, let me see.
Or what we're going to read in volume 3.
And this is Straight from a Diva's Heart. A diva's heart sat on a wall. A diva's heart had a great fall. All a diva's family and all a diva's friends couldn't put a diva's heart back together again. All a diva's heart could do was sit there and weep like Bo Peep when she lost her sheep. Then along came God and sat down beside her, and when she emerged from beneath the shadow of his wings, she found he left an angel there to guide her. His angels on high, let nothing come nigh. 10,000 may fall, but she'll conquer it all. She promises to seek him first this time, to forget what's behind and reach ahead for the prize. His will be done, he is the one. The reason why she'll live and not die. Now she's no longer afraid of the big bad wolf can't blow this brick house down. She's dancing as victory's trumpet sounds.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps. Oh my God. That was amazing. Straight from a diva's heart. Oh my God. You guys, this is definitely a good read. Best-selling author Michelle Stephens, poet and author. Straight from a Diva's Heart, Volume 3 will be here January 29th. And you guys make sure that you check out Volume 1, Volume 2. Also, her book, The Divorce Chronicles, her best-selling novel, Single Mama Dating Drama. Michelle, it has been my pleasure. Before we go though, could you please tell our viewers where they can find your material? Where can they find these fabulous, wonderful reads?
Absolutely. The best place to go is my website, MichelleLynnStephens.com. Go to my bookstore page. You'll see it all there. Ebooks are available on Amazon, and you can click paperbacks to go to my site for autographed copies to get sent out to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. It has been my honor. I want to thank you again for being on What's Hot with Jazzie. You guys heard it. Make sure you check out Straight from a Diva's Heart, and make sure she's got more books and things you hear on her website. Definitely. Michelle Stephens, you are definitely a phenomenal woman. I thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Jazzie Carrington. And thank you for watching What's Hot with Jazzie, and I'm out.